What is up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. Over the last month or so, I received 2 things in the mail from Best Buy. I went to Best Buy and picked up another 2 things. I got a couple of things from Hot Topic in Annapolis, Maryland, and I got 3 things from a store that we have here in New Jersey called Adventureland. And finally, I got something in the mail from a friend of mine. This is everything that I picked up in January 2023. This is another haul video. What's up, YouTube? As always, I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. All right, so poison ivy is getting a little bit better. It's still there. It still sucks. It still itches. So what? Moving on. All right, so I guess I will start off with the things that I got from the place called Adventureland. We have something here called the Gloucester Premium Outlets. And every time my wife goes into there, it's basically all clothes and shoes, just like your outlets are, I'm sure. Every time we go into that place, my wife goes and looks at pocketbooks and whatever the hell she's looking at. And I go over to Go Calendars, which I did not find anything at this time around, and this other place called Adventureland. It's all comic books, anime, what's it, manga? Is that what it's called, the Japanese stuff? Clearly, I'm very uninformed about that stuff. But they also have a little bit of horror stuff, a lot of Star Wars stuff, and a whole hell of a lot of Funko Pops. So every time I go to that store, I always wind up buying Funko Pops. And this time is no different than any other time. I picked up Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai because I don't collect enough shit. So this will go into my collection that is now seemingly to continue to just grow and grow and grow of stuff that is not horror. So I got Johnny Lawrence. They did not have Daniel LaRusso in there. The guy told me that he sells out. Every time he brings him in, he's gone almost immediately. And these aren't new at this point. I think they're either a year or 2 old. But I've never seen them, so it's new to me. There we got Johnny Lawrence. And the other one I got, I saw that this set of 4 figures, 4 for now, I'm sure there's going to be more. This set of 4 figures came out, and I could not find, pop figures came out, and I could not find, I found 3 of the 4, but the 4th one is the one that I wanted. And Adventureland had him, Tony Soprano. I don't know how many of you guys have or have not watched The Sopranos, but holy shit, what a fantastic friggin' show. So Tony is the only one that I wanted. What do they have? They had Tony, they have Silvio, they have Carmela, and they have Christopher. The other 3 I found everywhere that sells Funko Pops. I found those 3, but this was the first time I got my hands on Tony. I do not intend on buying the other 3. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold myself to that, because what's going to happen is I'm going to be in a store, it's just itching to buy something, and they're not going to have anything, but they'll have Silvio Dante, and I'll probably buy him. But for now, the plan is to just have Tony, and now I got him. So that is what, oh, one more thing I got from Adventureland, because there's no way in the world I was walking away from this. I don't know how many of you out there are familiar enough with me to know that although I'm a gargantuan horror movie fan, my favorite movie franchise of all time, for me, it's just nothing but nostalgia for me. Absolutely, positively love the Rocky films. Gigantic Rocky fan. And I went into Adventureland and they had this t-shirt in there, and there was no way. The last thing in the world I also need is more t-shirts, because I have just shy of like 8 million t-shirts is what it seems like. And I saw this thing in there, and there was no way on earth that I was not buying this t-shirt. So I picked that up in Adventureland. On to Maryland. I had to take, well, my wife and I had to take our son to Maryland for him to attend his girlfriend's father's wedding. We had to take him there, had to drive him back. All told, it was somewhere around 5 hours of driving that day. And while he was at the wedding for 5 hours, we had to find something to do. We went to a gigantic mall. Annapolis, Maryland is where there's a big naval base there. So I knew before we even went that there was going to be tons of stuff to do in Annapolis, Maryland. Stuff to do, that it was cold, so not, stuff to do is probably not appropriate. Lots of places to shop and spend money. That's more appropriate. And they have a gigantic mall in Annapolis, Maryland, that I don't know what it's called. The Annapolis Mall, maybe. But in that mall, they have a Hot Topic. And when I walked into that Hot Topic, I found one thing that I didn't know existed and another thing that I was looking for in my local Hot Topics and couldn't find. I figured I'd never get my hands on it unless I spent more than it retails for. And I really don't like to do that. The first thing that I found that I did not even know existed was Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein in this little 2-pack. This thing is just so cool. I got a Bride of Frankenstein for Christmas, but it's slightly different than this one is, thank goodness. And I do not have this variant of Frankenstein. Well, I don't have the color variant of this one either. I have an older Frankenstein, but I don't have the newer one. I just thought that this was fabulous. Saw this, and as soon as I saw it, I picked it up. I don't even know what I paid for it. I still don't know what I paid for it. Who the hell cares what I paid for it? Saw that thing, thought it was awesome, picked it up, love Frankenstein. The other thing that I got at Hot Topic came out this year, and I've seen a couple people online found this thing in Hot Topic, and I think a few people actually ordered them too. But I went to Hot Topic to try and find this thing around here. There's one in Vineland, they didn't have it. There's one in Mays Landing, they didn't have it. They typically ain't got shit. But I walked into the one in Annapolis, Maryland, and they did have it. Michael Myers bobblehead, where he is stuck the dude onto the wall. What was his name? Was his name Bill? Steve? What the hell was that guy? Don't remember his name. But I thought this was really cool. I know Phil from Bob! That's his name. It says it on the box. Phil from Phil's Creepy Vids found this thing, and that was the first time I saw it, and I've been looking for it ever since. And I went into Hot Topic, and they had one. So thank goodness that my son's girlfriend's father had to get married in Annapolis, Maryland that day, or I wouldn't have him. All right, moving on. The things I got from Best Buy. I went to Best Buy to pick up one of these two things, and while I was there, I went, oh shit, I don't have that either. Pearl. I don't have Pearl, didn't have Pearl. Well, that's a lie. I do have Pearl. But prior to that day, I did not have Pearl. This is the sequel to X, and I have not watched X yet. But I've heard nothing but good things about these two movies, and when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, reminder. The thing that I actually went there for was the steelbook of a movie that I already have more than enough times and more than once on Blu-ray. I got the steelbook of Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Now I bought part 1, 2, and 3. I certainly ain't going to stop at 4, being this is very likely my favorite of the Friday the 13th movies. I go back and forth between this one and the original 1980 film, but absolutely love Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Haven't opened it yet. Haven't checked it out yet, but why would I? Because I have 100 other Friday the 13th Blu-rays. One of these days I'm going to watch this just for the sake of me saying I actually watch the stuff I buy. I'm trying to work on this shelf in the horrors I've seen thing that I do on my channel, so check that out and you can see what I'm watching. But yeah, Friday the 13th. Now I have this countless, well, it's not countless, a lot. I have a lot of copies of this. All right, so now the things that I got in the mail from Best Buy. I picked this guy up. I didn't get the Steelbook, but I really still might buy that if I come across it. I think that was a Walmart thing, the Steelbook, the 4K Steelbook. Who knows? Terrifier 2. I saw this in the movie theater with my son when it came out last year. And holy shit, while I was in the movie theater watching this, I was wondering how the hell this thing got an R rating. And what I was doing watching a movie like this in a movie theater. Quite shocking. Fantastic movie. Love it to death. Very happy to have this in my collection. Now I got to find that 4K from Walmart. I'll double up on Terrifier 2. Why not? I quintupled up on my friggin' Friday the 13th. Why not? All right, and the last thing that I got from Best Buy, I got this in the mail. I pre-ordered this because I didn't think that I'd be able to get it in a store, and I've yet to see it in the store, and I've been there a couple times since I got this. Got the Halloween Ends 4K Steelbook. I have the 4K Steelbook of the 2018 film and of Halloween Kills, but I had to wait. It took me over a year to get Halloween Kills in my hand. I didn't feel like waiting for Halloween Ends, so I figured I'd pick that guy up. Didn't open this thing yet either, but I already have watched Halloween Ends like 4 times, because I have it streaming as well. So yeah, pick that thing up now. All of my Halloween collection is complete until they put out like the 8K box set of all of the 400 movies that there are. All right, and finally, something that I showed on my channel in a haul video from Dollar Tree was I picked up a new copy of Greystone Park, and my friend Mr. Dan in Horror mentioned the movie, and I said, yeah, you know what, if you want that, send me your address. He sent me his address. It's been at least a friggin' month because my lazy ass keeps forgetting to send it to him, and I went to the post office the other day to mail a bunch of stuff that I had sold from my eBay business, and what was there? A package from Mr. Dan and Horror. So now I feel like an asshole because I haven't mailed that thing yet, but I promise you, Dan, I pulled that thing out and it's sitting in front of me so that when I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go upstairs and put that thing in a mailer, and I'm going to print out a packing, a shipping label, and get that thing in the mail for you. I promise. So I have no idea what this is whatsoever, and I know he said it's not a big deal, but I feel like it's a big deal. I had no intention of receiving anything in return for Greystone Park, and now I can't even say it's in return. Now I'm sending you Greystone Park in return for whatever the hell's inside of this box. All right, so let's see what this thing is off camera for a second, because I don't want to put anything here that maybe he does or doesn't want you guys to see. Ah, cool. All right, so apparently he remembered that I had not seen all of the Hammer films, and he sent me a Hammer collection. All right, where's my glasses? Dude, this is badass. He sent me, I can't see with my glasses, this is bullshit, The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, Scream of Fear, The Gorgon, Stop Me Before I Kill, and The Curse of Mummy's Tomb. The Curse of Mummy's Tomb, I think I have that on DVD by itself. I think. Not sure. Dude, this is fantastic, man. Thank you. Now I'm going to send you a busted up ass used DVD, and you give me a brand new sealed unopened DVD. It's not exactly fair. I love it, man. Thank you very much, my friend. Am I reading this on here? Dan is also from New Jersey. I believe he lives... I'll tell you in a second. He lives in Morristown, New Jersey, which is where the Morristown Mall is, which is a place where I go a few times a year to look in their Hot Topic, not Hot Topic, what the hell's the name of that store? FYE, because I get a lot of NECA figures in there. All right, let me see. John, sorry it took a couple of extra days. I hope all is well. Everything is fine. Clearly, your couple of days is a lot faster than my couple of days. I know that you mentioned Hammer films a while back. Hopefully there are a few here that you haven't seen. Yes, my handwriting is terrible. I was having a hard time reading your handwriting. There we go. Yes, my handwriting is terrible. Like hieroglyphics, speaking of the Mummy. Remember, I'm down the street from the Morristown Mall, so if you're ever in the area, hit me up if you want to. It would be great to meet you and Janae. Or if you and Janae could stop by. Gave me his phone number. Thank you, Dan. Dude, that's awesome. When I started this whole damn YouTube journey, I never did it with any intention of meeting people. I did it just because I thought it would be awesome to share my love of horror and to share my collection with you guys. And since that has happened, I have met a lot of people through YouTube, and I just think it's wonderful. Dan, I have no doubt that you and I, my friend, are going to meet at some point. Whether it's at the Morristown Mall or if maybe it's at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, I know that you mentioned that on your most recent video that I watched, where you had the little figures sitting on your movies. I can't remember what you were talking about. I know you mentioned the Stephen King film 1922, and you wondered why nobody ever talks about that movie. I actually reviewed that movie on this channel probably about 2 years ago, and I agree with you. Very underrated, and more people should talk about it. All right, Dan, again, I promise, when I'm done this video, I'm going upstairs, and I'm putting this in an envelope, and I'm mailing it to your ass. Thank you very much, my friend. This means the world to me. Simple gesture like this, you have no idea how much this actually means. It's everything. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. Thank you for watching, folks. Later.